I'm sorry, Dave, but we have removed or modified the digital purchases you have made, as they are too offensive for this day and age.
So is this the end of physical media? I mean, through all the different subscription services and digital purchases that are out there, do we really need physical media? Do we really need books with paper? Do we really need discs and DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, high definition, or whatever else we have? Or what about even video games? I mean, GameStop's main moneymaker's really where they buy your old games, but if it's a digital access code, you can't really resell it. So, I mean, it's basically gonna go down the tubes, despite what Reddit says. So, I mean, are we looking at the end of physical media here? Are we going to be at the mercy of Disney and whoever else decides that if something's too offensive or too dangerous for a modern viewer to watch, that they'll go in and do a little edit here and there? Well, my case is that we need to keep physical media, and if for no other reason but to secure our access to the content that we want to see. Now, some of these rental services, they get a little bit of a pass, like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and even Amazon, because you're paying for a rental fee. You're renting the services on there. But even so, some of your favorite shows and movies can be taken off there at any moment, at any time, just because they decided they didn't want to pay the license for it or whatever. Also, you have to look at how much you're using these services and what you're using them for. If you're watching The Office on repeat over and over and over, and you're paying $10 or more a month, well, let's just go to Amazon. It's like, what, $50 for the complete series of The Office on DVD? Well, guess what? If that's all you're really watching Netflix for, just buy the DVD set, cancel Netflix, and guess what? You're saving money. And you can watch all the bonus features and bloopers and whatever else that are on these DVD sets. So that's my point there. And then you don't have to worry with firing certain actresses. You don't have to worry about all the crazy things that are going on. You don't have to worry about some of the garbage programming that's put on there. Amazon gets a little bit of a pass because when you subscribe to their Prime services, you also get the free shipping and all these other benefits, but it's still the same. It's still this matter of what are you using it for? And as far as your music, well, I've talked to a few connoisseurs of music, and they're like, some of these MP3s that you can buy off iTunes are not a proper mix. You got to go with a CD, or you got to go with something else to get that full 5.1 audio mix on there, or else it just doesn't sound right. Now, that might be fine if you're just listening to it on your phone, but if you're listening to it on a quality sound system with 5.1 surround sound, it's not going to sound right. The mix is just not there on some of these files, whereas if you get them on a CD, it's there. It's pristine. Or even vinyl. Vinyl is very popular right now. And so we're seeing a resurgence with that, but CDs, come on, no one's buying them. And then the other matter is if you're just using cloud storage for all of this, or if, like a lot of the movies, you're just dependent on these cloud services. If you lose internet connection, you can't watch it. Or if they decide that they don't want to hold that on their server anymore, if they don't want to have it anymore, then they can just remove it. And you paid, what, $15-20 for the digital copy of that? It's gone. Now, I buy all kinds of DVDs and Blu-rays, and if it comes with the digital access code, sure, I'll go ahead and I'll put it on there and I'll have a digital library, but I keep the discs. I don't pay anything for the digital access code. If it comes free with my movie, great. And as far as books go, well, I mean, I think some things that might become obsolete pretty quick, and I'm thinking more of certain political memoirs or something like that, those might be all right to be in a digital form only, but for a lot of these things like biographies or novels or something else, I want the paper book. I want the paper book. I tried to read a few graphic novels, and they're terrible in my opinion. I don't like them on the digital format. I like to hold my graphic novel. I want it to be on paper so I can turn that page and experience the novel that way. And then games, I mean, I'm not a serious gamer. I really don't do a whole lot of gaming, but I mean, I can't imagine paying so much money for something that if I don't like it, that I can't resell it. So there's that issue. I mean, there's just a bunch of big issues that I have with all this digital media. And if you look in the terms and conditions that no one really reads, there's usually some sort of clause in there of they reserve the right to take you off of their service for whatever reason. They will remove the content at their discretion. So, I mean, you could buy 200 movies and they decide, you know what, we saw that tweet that you put up, we're going to cut you off. Or something else comes out, and you know what, this actor said something we really don't like, so we're going to go and we're going to remove every single movie they were in. Oh, and by the way, you might have paid $100 for all those digital movies because you really like that actor, but guess what? We don't want them on here, so you are out all that money. You had all the digital movies, and now they're gone. But if you had them in physical media, you still have them. So I think I've ranted enough about this. It's a little bit different from what I usually try to talk about here. But as we move on, let's try to really think about why we're putting so much money into these digital forms of media and having no security of being able to keep hold of that or to keep the integrity of the original version. So, I think that's something we need to be aware of moving forward.